I moved into the apartment building on a rainy Tuesday evening. It wasn't the kind of place people dreamed about living in, but it was quiet, cheap, and close to my night job. The building itself was old, maybe from the 70s. Long gray hallways, flickering lights, and the kind of elevator that always sounded like it was thinking about giving up. Still, I liked it. There was something calm about the place. Most of the apartments seemed empty. Or at least, silent. The landlord handed me the keys without much conversation. He was an older man with tired eyes and a voice that sounded like gravel. "Third floor," he said. "Apartment 307. Then he paused for a moment. "And don't worry about 311. I remember asking what he meant, but he had already turned away. I didn't think much about it at the time. People say strange things in old buildings. My first few nights were uneventful. I worked late shifts, usually getting home around 2 in the morning. The hallways were always empty when I arrived, just the soft buzzing of fluorescent lights and the distant hum of pipes somewhere in the walls. Apartment 311 was 2 doors down from mine. At first, I assumed it was empty. No lights under the door, no footsteps, no voices, nothing. But on my 4th night, something changed. I had just unlocked my door when I heard it. A sound, very quiet, like movement. Not loud footsteps, not talking. More like something slowly dragging across the floor. It lasted maybe 5 seconds. Then it stopped. I remember standing there in the hallway, holding my keys, listening. Nothing. Just silence again. I told myself it was probably an old pipe or maybe the building settling. Old buildings make noises. But the next night, I heard it again. Same time, around 2 in the morning. That same slow dragging sound. This time, I was sure it came from apartment 311. I looked at the door. It was just a normal door. Beige paint, slightly chipped near the handle. No light underneath. No sound anymore. I considered knocking, but something about the hallway felt wrong. Too quiet. So I went inside my apartment instead. The next week followed the same pattern. Every night. Around 2. The sound. Dragging. Slow movement. Always from apartment 311. Always stopping the moment I stood in the hallway. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. One night, I walked up to the door and knocked. 3 slow knocks. Nothing. No movement. No answer. I waited maybe 10 seconds. Still nothing. Then I turned around and started walking back to my apartment. That's when I heard it again. But this time, it wasn't dragging. It was a single step, right behind the door. I froze. Someone was inside, standing there, on the other side of the door. I waited. So did they. 30 seconds passed. Neither of us moved. Finally, I said quietly, "Hello?" No answer. Just silence. Then, very slowly, I heard something slide across the floor again. But it wasn't moving away from the door. It was moving toward it. I didn't wait to see what would happen next. I went back into my apartment and locked the door. After that night, things got stranger. For one thing, I never saw anyone enter or leave apartment 311. Not once. And I started paying attention. I watched the hallway cameras near the elevator. Nothing. No visitors. No deliveries. No landlord. But every night, the sound continued. Dragging. Slow movement. Sometimes for minutes at a time. Then one night, around 3 in the morning, something different happened. I woke up to a noise in my own apartment. A faint scraping sound. At first I thought it came from upstairs. But then I realized something. It was coming from the wall that separated my apartment. From 311, the sound was faint, but unmistakable. Something was moving on the other side, not walking, not crawling, sliding, like something being slowly pulled across the floor. Then it stopped, and for the first time, I heard breathing, very quiet. Very close to the wall. I didn't sleep much after that. The next day, I asked the landlord about apartment 311. He looked uncomfortable immediately. "Someone lives there," he said. "That's all." I asked him how long they'd been there. He hesitated. "A long time." I asked what their name was. He shook his head. "I don't get involved?" That answer didn't help. So that night I decided to try something. At exactly 2 in the morning, I stepped into the hallway and walked straight to apartment 311. The dragging sound had already started, louder than usual. I knocked. Hard. The sound stopped instantly. Silence. I leaned closer to the door, and then I heard something I had never heard before. Whispering. Not words. Just a low, uneven whisper. Like someone trying to remember how to speak. I couldn't understand it. But I knew one thing. There wasn't just one voice. There were several. All whisper. Fear. Maybe both. But just before I touched it, the whispering stopped. Completely. And then a single voice spoke clearly. Right on the other side of the door. It said only 3 words. "We hear you." I never knocked on that door again. But the sounds never stopped. Every night. Dragging. Sliding. Whispering. And sometimes, breathing. Right through the wall. The strangest part is this. 2 weeks ago, I checked the building's tenant list. Apartment 311 isn't on it. According to the records, that apartment doesn't exist. But every night at 2 in the morning, I still hear something moving inside.